Gillettte Mach3 versus Gillettte Vector3. The intention of this video is to help you save a few bucks without a difference to your comfort. I personally have been using the Mach3 for ages and switched a few months back to the Vector3. It is going to be an experience for me as well as I revisit the Mach3. Both the shaving blades are from the same company, but one costs more than double the other. The Vector3 comes in at an average cost of around Rs 250, while the Mach3 comes in at Rs 550. Costs almost 300 bucks more for a pack of 4. Might not seem like much, but considering that a blade might last you for about a month, depending of course on your shaving frequency, through the year it would amount to a savings of about 1,000 bucks. But is one blade really better than the other? For sure, each of these blades have their pros and cons. But let's look into it. When one picks either of these blades, one is essentially buying into their ecosystem. So let's start with the handle. The Mach3 comes in at around 350 rupees with 2 blades, while the Vector3 comes in at Rs 150 with just 1. There sure is a difference in the handle. For one, the Mach3 handle feels a lot more meaty and sturdy. Definitely better built of the two. It weighs in also at almost double of the Vector3. Also noticeable is how the blade moves at the attachment point. If you notice closely, the blade on the Mach3 springs back to position as we release tension. The same is not true for the Vector3. Also, the razor handle in the Mach3 slides into the blade, while that of the Vector3 snaps into place, like so. Both the blades on close inspection have microfins to help perk up your facial hair for a closer shave. They also both have a lubrication band up top. The Vector3 blade though seems to be a little bit smaller in breadth. So far, everything seems to be pretty even Stevens between the blades, except for the price. But the true test is in performance. So the plan: left side of my face, focus. Left side of my face, I am going to be using the Vector3, right side the Mach3. To shave, I am going to use our regular Gillette foam. I've been using the Vector3 already for 5 or 6 years and I know exactly how it feels. So let's start with the left side of my face. One tip: when you shave the first time, always shave along the grain. And the grain of the beard not necessarily is on the same side everywhere. For example, my grain goes like this for this part of the face, but for the bottom, it goes this way. And let's do a second pass now, and the second pass it will go against the grain. Okay, so now let's start with the right side of my face with the Gillettte Mach3. So far what I find is that it is it's a tad little bit more smooth, but doesn't make much of a difference yet. Second pass, so far honestly not much of a difference, but let's see the finished product. Okay, what I am noticing right now is that this thing is almost, I don't know whether you can see that. Focus. This almost forms a sort of a gel on your face, and therefore it feels a little bit more smooth on the second pass. So, left side the Vector3, right side the Mach3. Can you make out any difference? I think we'll wait for 24 hours before giving a final verdict because the stubble will be a real test. Only I noticed shaving the sideburns, or trimming them rather, is a lot easier with the Vector3. I had to actually wait 48 hours for the stubble to grow substantially. So this side, my left side, is the Vector3, the right side is the Gillettte Mach3. Can you see a difference? Vector3, Mach3. I for one can see a noticeable difference, albeit little bit slight, that the Vector 3 actually gives a closer shave. What's the verdict then? Who is the winner? I personally will continue to use the Vector 3 considering the savings in cost. However, do note that the Vector 3 is not as easily available in the online and offline market. At a random supermarket looking for Vector 3 blades, Vector Plus is there, Mach 3 razor handles, Mach 3 blades. What is this? Oh, we find a Vector 3 handle, but no Vector 3 blades.